Well, ladies and gentlemen, like all Queenslanders, I woke this morning to the horrific news that a couple of hundred people had died after a plane had crashed in the Ukraine. Like all Queenslanders, I was shocked, outraged, dismayed and deeply saddened. While this terrible tragedy has occurred on the other side of the world, it feels very much at home. Communities right across Queensland are likely to be impacted by this tragedy. I have this morning spoken to the Prime Minister and to the Foreign Minister, Julie Bishop. While you've already heard the news that around 27 of the people lost on this flight were Australians, and that number of course may change, it is believed that 9 of the people who've lost their lives were our fellow Queenslanders. The nationalities on board are not totally established, and so the numbers, I stress, may change, they may be higher. What I want to say today is that my thoughts and prayers are with all Queenslanders who've been touched by this tragedy, and there will be many people, this is a small state, there'll be many people who've lost loved ones. I think the impacts will be far-reaching across our state. So my thoughts are with them and my deepest condolences are with them. And my point this morning is that we must reach out to those people. They're going to need all the support that they possibly can get. The government will do everything we possibly can, and the Minister is with me today, the Minister for Communities is with me. We'll do everything we possibly can, and we'll continue to work for the families and friends as long as they need that support. They will also need the support of people around them. No one should grieve alone at this time. Everyone should be coming together to support people who've been impacted. In terms of the direct concerns about whether someone may have been lost on this flight at this stage, of course I refer to the DFAT number 1300 555 135. Now we have a partnership with the Lifeline organisation, and so we are offering counselling through Lifeline to anybody that has been impacted by this tragedy. So the number is 13 11 14. That's 13 11 14. That's Lifeline, and anybody who's been impacted should feel free to contact that number. If, of course, they are directly family members, they'll be given additional levels of support. I've also spoken to Governor Penelope Wensley, and she, of course, is grieving for all who've lost their lives and reaches out and wants Queenslanders to know how deeply saddened she is by these terrible events. So that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. Over to you. If there are questions we can answer, we will attempt to do so, but obviously the carriage of this is really in the hands of the federal government. No, we don't at this stage. All I can give you is a preliminary figure that 9 out of the estimated 27 are from our state.
Given that we are hosting the G20 and that the Prime Minister has said that this is less of an accident and more of a crime, do you think you have the right as the Premier of Queensland to insist that Mr. Who does not attend?
Well, today, as far as I'm concerned, is about the families, the friends and indeed the communities of Queensland that need to be supported. So I really can't get into that today. On another time, on another occasion, you know me, I'm prepared to give you a forthright answer on that one. But today it's about Queenslanders, it's about supporting people who need our support, and it's about ensuring that no one grieves alone.
Premier, you're a former military man. What does it mean to have people shoot down the plane of civilians?
Well, it appears that that is the case. And so I think we should just hold back at this stage again and think of, again, the people who need our support right now. It does appear to be a crime, but that is why I support what the Prime Minister has said. There needs to be a full, international, independent inquiry into what has occurred, and I call on all the parties in that conflict to ensure that they provide completely unrestricted, safe access to the international investigators that should be on the scene as soon as possible.
Does the government know the identity of the Queenslanders that you believe were?
I don't have that information at this time, and the Foreign Minister, when she spoke to me just over an hour ago, was saying they were out there trying to contact next of kin. We don't have that information.
How did you feel when you realised that it was so close to home?
Well, you know, look, I just absolutely shocked and appalled, and you know, I, like all Queenslanders, have been listening to the radio, been watching the TV, and the vision, and also those very disturbing transcripts of the conversations with people who may well have been involved in the shooting down of this aircraft, if that's what's occurred. It's chilling, it's sickening, and it's hard not to be incredibly emotional and angry about it as well.
We would have known, lots of family members perhaps who might have been travelling that route. Queenslanders would have known people.
Well, look, people of my age have kids that travel to and from Europe. It's a rite of passage, and all parents would be thinking of their kids right now if they're overseas. It just brings it home to you, the shocking tragedy of the whole thing.
Do you accept that this will have an impact on the Duty Summit?
Again, Robin, it's not the day to talk about that. You all know me. On another day, another time, I'm prepared to give some commentary on my views on that. But first, let us reach out to families and friends and affected communities and provide them with the support. This is a day we should be thinking about people who've lost their lives and people who are grieving who need our support. That's what today really we should be thinking about.
You mentioned this is a very regularly travel route for many people from Australia. And is there a personal connection? So people of your age have children who do this route as a...
Well, look, yeah, my own children have gone through this part of the world in recent times, but many Queenslanders have, and many Australians have done that, and there are many parents, I think, who'd be thinking just like I am this morning about their kids and their safety, and that's the thing that brings it home. We do as Australians travel a lot. Our young people travel a lot, and every Australian family today who's got a young person overseas will be thinking of them particularly.
Premier, should we take it then that there are young people that have been killed from this?
I don't have that information, but I'm sure, and I mean, they were offering some pretty good deals on their flights at the moment, and I'm afraid that you would speculate. I am speculating. I'm not going to do a lot, but that's one thing I'd speculate, that people who are after a good deal on a flight may well have been on the aircraft.
Do you have any further information about those Queenslanders believed to be caught up in this, be gender or age?
No, I'm sorry, I don't. As soon as we get more information, we will provide it. Either the federal authorities, Julie Bishop, or myself. We will make further statements about this.
Now, what sort of assistance can the Queensland Government give to these 9 Queensland families?
Well, we'll give them everything we possibly can, Cameron, but maybe the Minister might want to talk about some of the things we could do in that space.
Well, thank you, Premier. As the Premier said earlier, in the first instance, what we can provide family members and extended family members and friends that have been impacted is through our partnership with Lifeline. Lifeline has been working in this field for a very long time in terms of dealing with disaster and tragedy. And so anybody that is impacted can ring Lifeline today. Their number is 13 11 14. But as the Premier said, for those families that are directly impacted, we will offer whatever support we can further to that. It's a time that you just can't even comprehend as a Queenslander. Going overseas, taking a holiday, whether it's a young person or a retired couple, you don't expect to wake up the next day and find that a family member may have been involved in this great tragedy. So my heart absolutely goes out to the families, and we will do absolutely everything we can, as the Premier said, so people don't have to grieve alone.
Premier, you stopped campaigning today. Why was that?
Well, today is about this. It's about the families, the friends, and it's about just stopping and thinking, I think, a whole range of things about what a great country we live in and a terrific democracy, but what a great sense of community we have in Queensland. We rally during cyclones and floods and terrible storms. This is a time to rally around people who've been subject to let's say, a man-made disaster. That's clearly the case. That's what we have to do right now. Okay. Look, I'm not going to answer questions on party political matters or indeed any other matter today. Happy to tomorrow if you'd like to talk to me then, but not today.
In terms of practicalities and what you can do for these families, will you contact them yourself and offer the government air wing, whatever they might need?
Look, when we have the details, we'll certainly be doing that. And if we need to provide, if we need to provide some sort of assistance to get them there, assuming it's safe to go there, if they need to go there, those are the sorts of things we're prepared to contemplate. We've done these sorts of things in the past. We have provided support to people who've been impacted from overseas, victims of crime in Queensland. So, as the Minister and I have said, we will do everything we possibly can to support the families in this terrible time for them, and we'll also work very closely with the federal government. So that was part of my conversation with Julie Bishop. Was down the track, I said to the Minister, we want to work with you to make sure that there's no need that's left unfulfilled in terms of supporting families.
Is there any expert assistance that Queensland can provide? We've got experts in all ranges of fields, post disasters. Has there been any requests?
No, there hasn't at this time. And again, I think obviously the federal government have the carriage and that sort of thing, but we must have this full, independent, international investigation, and there must be unfettered access, safe access to this area. The warring parties, should provide that access so that we can get to the bottom of this.
The Prime Minister said that the National Government Security Committee is going to be today, and the G20 may well be on the security of G20 may well be on the discussion table. Have you been informed of whether that's going to be talked about today at all?
Well, look, they have had that meeting, is my understanding, but you better put that to them in terms of how they what discussion. No, but again, I've made it very clear what my focus is today. But look, on another day, another time, when we have some more facts, I might be prepared to talk in a more forthright manner about my views, but that's not today.
Is there another meeting scheduled with the premiers to get the next update?
Look, I've just been talking directly to the PM, his office, and Julie Bishop, so we'll be asking for information when they've got it, when it's confirmed. We don't want to give out anything that's incorrect, but we'll let you know, or they'll let you know as soon as we've got that. At that, I think we probably should call it quits for today, so thank you very much.